Alright, Gary, I watched your two video responses. I don't remember talking shit to you in a comment. If it's possible. My memory is not the best for certain pharmacological reasons, but if I did talk shit, I'm sorry. I didn't mean anything by it. Hopefully, if you want to engage in this discussion again about intelligence and how to save the world, basically, you can unblock me so at least we can link our videos. But I'm more and more convinced that we're just talking past one another most of the time, not really understanding what we're each trying to push as a perspective, because we have certain favorite words that we like to use to represent that perspective, and so what we're actually saying gets lost in our vocabulary. You have this strong affinity for intelligence, which in and of itself is just a word. It seems to me that what you mean by intelligence is a much broader array of faculties than just the logical, scientific, analyzing, critical, doubtful mind. I think of this word intellect as a philosophical term, and maybe you're using it more colloquially, just, in the common vernacular, just, the way normal people talk about intelligence as the opposite of stupidity. And obviously stupidity is not exactly a great quality to have, so intelligence must be good, and so anything that's intelligent is good. Sure. In this objectivity stuff, we shouldn't ask a heroin addict what addiction is like because they're the one who's addicted. Well, addiction, really, part of the definition of being addicted includes this subjective sense of desire and need for a certain, whether it's a drug or an emotion or a situation or whatever. Without that subjective description or perspective, it's really nonsensical to talk about addiction. You could just observe the behavior objectively as an outsider, but you're not really zooming in on the phenomena and getting a close-up view of what it is like to be addicted. I think that, I agree with what Ian Crossland said in his response, that we should ask heroin addicts, ask researchers of heroin addicts, what addiction to heroin is all about, and only by continual reflection between these two perspectives, the subjective and objective perspective, can we arrive at some intersubjective agreement about what's really going on there. You talked about my economic theory. I don't really know that I have one. If I do, my economic theory is that economics should become ecology, because economics as it is now is this linear model based on taking resources from the environment to produce human goods which serve their temporary purpose and then are thrown away, and that waste isn't useful to the natural world that we took those resources out of in the beginning, and so we're basically eating our own home and shitting all over the place without engaging in the cycle of nature, the circle of life. We're not taking the food chain into consideration. All we take into consideration are profits and short-term benefits, and it's completely unsustainable. So my economic theory is that economics is inherently backwards. Not that people don't need to exchange goods and such, but that the economic model is not ecological enough. So that's my economic theory. I'm not a free market anarchist who thinks, pure capitalism without government interference would be the best thing to ever happen to the human species. I don't think that at all. I do see nature as inherently anarchistic, meaning there's no leader, there's no ultimate controller somewhere that's directing what nature is doing. You know, there's no God in heaven orchestrating it all from above, and there's no, you know, inherent genetic selfishness orchestrating it from the ground up. But, you know, so it seems, okay, we found some common ground about the intelligence stuff. I agree we should be intelligent when trying to solve problems. I agree. I think a lot of the things you're attributing to this word intelligence have more to do with willpower and empathy and compassion. You know, I just use those words to describe what you're using the intellect as this catch-all word to describe. So, but it's just semantics, and we agree basically about that stuff.